Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to some basic concepts of map and how to decide things based on map. You can see different things in a map. The first is topography, for example. One characteristic or one dimension of a map is topography. You want to understand that maps are either 2D representations, flat representations of 3D images, or you can understand this another kind of map. But this is a topographical map that pertains to the topography of where you're going. Okay, it's not all topography, but some of it is topography. So what is topography? Topography refers to the depth of an image. You walk up, you walk down. You walk over bumps or no bumps. The land is flat or high or low. Topography really shows the elevation compared to other parts of the same map. For example, I'm going to exit this because it slows things down a little bit for me. And I'll go back in later. So I'm going to do some mapping, and then I'm going to show you some more things. Like I can go into a map and show you. Let's open up some of these maps. The third one. I'm going to do some examples, no videos. Okay, I think that's enough sample exercises. I can do one more. Okay. Oh wait, here's the good ones. Okay. Okay, so let's do the first one. All right, so you can see here that from this person's perspective, they're high. Topography is above what seems to be a line. So I don't see where that line exactly lines up at the same height. It ends here, for example. All right, around here. But that's unknown horizon. So from here to here, it's flat. You can see that, but that might be higher or lower. I don't really see that because I don't see where that perspective is on the horizon. I'm not measuring it, for example. So what we're going to do here is we're going to understand some things are high, some things are low. This is too high to understand something will happen. We understand this is an average, and this is the low. So this is an average height, this is a low height, and back here will be a high height. This is a slope going down to the base, or to the basin, and the basin up to the top of the slope, to the peak. It's not really a basin, but you get the idea. It's kind of like it dips down. So if I've got a long-range weapon, I'd be best perched on a hill with defense, and I can shoot anything in my line of defense. If I want to change the angle of my shot, I simply get closer to the wall and change, or the other wall, and change my perspective. Or I can stand up and see everything and shoot at long range. So this is a map where everything long range is at issue from this perspective up here. I know from experience that there's other perspectives. There's a high up high on both sides, and middle ground on both, and low. We don't see that. What do we see here? Sometimes the perspective changes. Even if you're on that map, you might not remember. You might not remember because you're busy. You have this here, this here, this here. Okay? Now, the thing is, if you're up high, you have a direct line to anything drawn along the wall in this basic range. We don't see what's over here from this map, so okay. Now, what you see from here is a line of perspective. From this person's perspective, okay, you can do what? You can go anywhere, 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 anywhere. Anyone behind any of those holes is possibly making a vulnerable, but I don't know if anything's blocking this. Okay? So these 3 holes can possibly make somebody might be up here. Maybe, I don't know if there's anything there, but this could be dangerous. That could be, anything over here. Okay? Don't know what's over here. But they seem to be going together in the same direction. Okay? So they have to watch all those holes at once. And also, something over here. Like that. Okay? Depth there, you can see it. And then you don't know what is behind the wall. Okay? So this is wide open. This is a wide open space. So you have 3 layers in this wide open space. Okay, the first layer is a topography like this low. Anything high can get too low. But sometimes the difference between this slope and this angle is something like it might not reach, might just miss you. Okay, so topography matters. Next topography is that this can go down or this can go up, but you can't include a zone. You have to fire from the middle where you don't block yourself. If this enemy is blocked, it's right here, and is blocked, can't. You have to be able to fire over or from a place where they can't see. If the plane is okay, the center, then you're in danger. But if you get closer, then they might hit you, but you will miss them. You cannot shoot up, but they can shoot down. Okay? Because they just need to see the top of you. You need to get to the top of them. So you're missing a piece of them, but you have to be able to aim high, which is not that obvious. If you can, then you can. But you need to watch this angle, because the topography can block you. Okay? Okay, I hope that helps. So if you have an area of defense, like that's over here, but you don't see them behind the walls, okay? Which is not usual. It's probably over here or over here, like that. Let's make it somewhere more natural. You can't see this, it's here. Okay. This is a bad long range fight. If you have long range weapon, this is a really tough zone. Easy at first because no one's long range in a way that is going to be that obvious. But as soon as you have one long range person that's coherent, it's time to stop fighting for that zone in the same way as if you just run in. So assume you don't know what is behind here. Okay, I'm coming for this area. And you have to decide, will it be an issue to that's random. It's not exactly that way to draw it, but then maybe something is happen up over here. Okay, so these are kind of like different lines which are drawn kind of vaguely because I don't see any perspective. Okay, maybe it's more like that, and then more like oh, I see. I'll show you better. Think about the angle of approach. So that one would be along that line, appropriately like that. And then I think parallel like that. But that might mean you come far out like that, or far out like that. Okay? Or inward. And that means that you understand the angle at which you're at risk when you approach. If you approach anywhere in this angle in open view, then you're in trouble. You might move around. Okay, either side, or you might go direct. If you move around, you have melee every step of the way. It's safe. Obstacle, 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 course, hide behind the wall. But if you go direct, long range, it will destroy you. Okay, here, that's one example. Okay, another example. Here is a picture of a map for a Patterson Station. I don't know much about that. I see a big topography, possibly some line, some peak. Maybe there's nothing you can do about some of this. You can't really do anything, but you can move through it. Start here maybe. Work your way through. Work your way through. I don't see that. What's there? Work your way through. Like that. I don't see what's there. I don't know. Okay. So maybe something there, maybe not. Maybe there's a tunnel here, I think. I remember now. And that's it. Up, down, around, and maybe through another tunnel underneath here. Okay. So these are perspective. From the top, you can see your limits. If you have any flying technology, you can find any place where you can fly high enough, or that is satisfactory. You can land on top of a snow dune and walk all the way around. Okay. But wherever you can, not everywhere, but just wherever you can. You go up high, you can fly low, so you need to find more topography here. So let's look at some topography. Assuming this section of the map. See, this is a peak of some kind. I know from experience that is a tunnel. That's going uphill, that's going downhill. But we don't know experience yet. You know, this is a peak. And because we can see that slope and the shadow. Because you see a shadow, you understand there's perspective along this line here. Okay? You understand the peak. And so when you want to understand what you can do here, you can understand topography. From on top of the peak, I can shoot down. From at the bottom, I can shoot up. So now you know one thing. You know that your problem is going from east to west, north and south. Okay. East and west. But now you know it also goes up and down. Okay. So you're going to need to understand that you have more happening than north, east, south, west. Okay, and that's important. For example, you understand to look up and down, northeast, south, and west. You watch your map to understand where is your highest risk, and you face your highest risk, or you run away. You have to decide strategy to attack or run, or defend or run. To regroup, basically, or not to lose points for the team. Points are won through controlling control points, as well as, I think there's more here or something like that. And as well as here. I can't remember exactly, but it's something like that. Control points as well as death. Okay, kill the enemy, you win. So think north, south, east, and west, and as well as up and down. So let's try this topography and see what we can see. This one is easy. You can see 1 and 2. You can see this here is depth. Okay, so that can be easily right away. You can understand that if you're here, maybe you can see down or not at all, because it's just an example map about how the map is built. So you can see dimension. In fact, that's what it really means, I suppose. So see this hole here. If you're here and you shoot here, long distance, maybe it's an easy win. But if you have no long distance and you see someone here, now it's melee, you're closer together, whoever wins. This one is short distance, this one's medium, so this one wins. But if they're here and here, then you see that the two groups close together is like a short range wins. Short range wins. Okay? Medium to long range loses. So you kind of think, how close are they together? Here you see up, down, as well as height is very high. So you have something that flies, you might get something like that high, but you won't really get higher. So do you fly? You want to think, does something fly? Okay, that can be what? A mech. A mech is a machine that a human is operating, essentially. The pilot, you, me, that kind of thing. Is it a pie? Where a pie? Where a pie? Where a pie? Where a pie? That's it. Easy as that. I get the point. Another thing. What else flies? Rockets. Rockets fly. Rockets. They fly. Sometimes some rockets are just long distance. They fly right, or they fly down. But sometimes they fly up, down. They're guided. What if they're just a target, right? Guidance. Guidance. Okay. Guided. They fly like here, go up, and they fly. How far? Long? Question mark? Or short? Question mark. Well, it's not short. It's long to mid. But if short, then is then already stats. Okay, you have to read the stats. Okay, so if you can find a short range rocket that's good at 0 meters, optimal at 0 meters. So for time and distance is okay. You want more time or more distance, right? So if you get too much time, then the person is gone. Okay. But if you have too much distance, it's okay if the time is not an issue. So if you don't need distance to be an issue because it can travel fast, then no more issue. The less the distance is an issue, the more time is the issue. No, that's a mistake. Okay. I have to try another graph. Okay. Do you want more of time or more of distance, I guess? Because if you have no distance issue and then time's the issue, then it would be the same. No matter how much distance, then you have all the time issue. See? But that means, why is distance an issue? So you have to understand maybe time's an issue, because if you shoot at short range, you might not have time to aim, maybe. So time has to be an issue not only from the enemy, but also you, maybe many components at a time. All right, and you have to think, if you change the distance issue, how could that make it more important to have more time. I'm too close and I need more time to aim. I need to back up. If distance is not an issue, maybe it's a small issue. Maybe you need to back up and the time is too much. Okay. Maybe you need longer, or maybe you need more of distance, or maybe you need, maybe this could be meters, okay? Distance in meters. So this would be like 100, and that would be like 10. Maybe 10 is too close, or it's okay, but it's if it's not okay for you, it's okay for the rocket, but you have to aim it. So optimal aim, maybe this is aim optimization. Are you comfortable aiming that closely? It's a lot happening at once. All right, next one. So here you can see a slope. So once is somewhere here, and you got to know that it goes down. But if you back here, then you can't. But if you're here, then you can. Shoot up or down, but if you have something else there, you can't shoot because the angle is too bad. But if you're back here, then maybe you can. Then maybe you can. So compared to this line, maybe at this point here, at this point, referring to this line, around this point here, it's okay. Shoot there. This is long range. You can go long. Okay. You can go short or medium. Okay. Or you can maybe use a special effect and stun if you have something. I don't suppose that right now. Or you use a distracting fire. Get close to melee. Or maybe you have a flyer. You can fly up there. It's okay. This one is open. We did this one in another map already. And then you can see, oh, like that. Different hole. It's here and here. Anyway, we did that one. And that was the frozen map with the slope, the peak. It's a nice picture. You just have to think where is somebody standing and how does it affect your range. Here you can see high. Is there any way to get up there? Sometimes there is, sometimes there is no. This is low. Is there any way to get down there? Yeah. So get in there, I suppose. Don't fall off edges. It can result in you leaving the map, which means you're automatically you lose your mech for that match. Maybe this is a curve here now because I can see that blue line curve. Okay, so there's some battle here, and you've got to think, where are you moving to? What is over here? Do you go high and you shoot down? But can they find you? Yeah, they can. See here, there's nothing really to compare to. I can see right now. So if you want to shoot, maybe you have to follow that line. There's a slope here somewhere. It goes down. So maybe you have to understand this is out of sight. You have something up there, they can't get at you. But if you're not behind, not blocked by this, then there's nothing to protect you. Yeah. Maybe you can back up. Okay, let's take a look at this one here. Let's see this line here. Here. If you look at it, there are areas where you're safe. Okay, this is safe. From From where? From anything that wants to block you, like that. Anything there. Even here, all of that you're safe. Suppose someone has a rocket here. I'm gonna go like that. You need to tuck into the wall, and then the rocket won't guide. Somehow, I guess getting close to the wall means the rocket won't launch up and get you here. But if you're here, then you're not safe. Okay? Maybe. Depends on the range. You have to think range. Also of sky. Let's take a look at another one. Like that. Okay? So this is your safe. And this is all okay. Safe from all that. But you need to make sure that this doesn't get a rocket from the sky. That's it. But if you're over here, then you have a vulnerability which is something like that. Like that. Maybe you're vulnerable over here though. That's it. So you need to understand that this curve here will define angle of safety. Okay? It's called a perspective. So you have two lines. You have to understand how that line helps you. One is cos. This one gives the dimension to the about 1, 2, that, and then you start to find, I don't draw, but it's I think it's just something and that. Yeah, too soon, right? Oh, too soon. I drew my lines too soon. But okay, like that. Start to see that there is some shape to the building being drawn. But anyway, I'm going to stop there because it's a bit far for me to read, and I don't know how to do much about it anymore. So, but I can show you there is some kind of depth perception there where you can see by following this same line, the ruler, straight line, you can see how the pivots show you that by changing your angle, you can see how safe you are. Right here, you know that anything on that side or that side is finitely separated by an angle. Okay, and you have a second one down here, below, parallel, and you have a third one like that, both sides approximately like that. You can't see that one, but like that. Okay, and so the wall extends invisibly because the angle protects you from anything outside of that. You can easily know that. In this game, they have a rocket, maybe they can't to an extent, but if you hug the wall, I find that's fine. It should do. Okay. Know about this angle. Okay, like that. you've got an angle that's consistent along here and here. So that's consistent like that. Got an angle that's going to be consistent like that. This is a depth issue. Okay, that's up and down. Maybe there's a hole goes somewhere. See that? But what else is there? You have line, line, line. You can see is a kind of shape, angle where people can hide, come in and out. But it's not all the same. So here or here, maybe there is a separation of some meters. Okay, in imaginary game meters. Okay. There, and that. Slope is into the sky. Okay, your angle. That means that your slope into the sky protects you from harm. It's like that, and like that, and all the way up. No one can get you because they have to what? They have to be able to now 45 degrees from here, like that approximately. Okay. I'm gonna go with 45 because it's a standard good guess. So I'm gonna go with between halfway, like that, and like that. As long as they're anywhere down here, or down here, or something like along the slope, like that. So you're here, and you come around, and you know that you can't shoot them. If there is a line here, I think you can't. You have to be able to prove that they stand here. As long as they stand here, and the height's like that, then you can understand anywhere exposed along this altitude. Not altitude, topographical line. So at that point, you have to realize that your height is going to define your perspective, and then if your height's here, define your perspective. If your height's very big, for example, like you fly, and now you can change the line which people can't see you or shoot you. You're here, they cannot shoot you. It's not the same. But you have to find another line. This one is parallel. Draw a line parallel. Understand there's a parallel. And find in this zone what do you have. Can they catch you? Yeah, it looks like some depth here. Maybe they can't shoot you from back here. But I can't see. You have to put that line there. And as long as you can be shot, maybe you had to be somewhere along this line. So paint that. And there's a reset. We assume somebody is standing here, approximately. And we wonder if someone's right here, can they shoot you? Okay. So it's possible. See here, because you can see some depth. And then you say, if this is a height, then it has to be something manageable. I don't see that possibility. That looks blocked. Okay. So high your head is. Your head's up high. You have to. Can you draw a line or justify it based on other lines of perspective? I can't really make an argument for this one right now. Maybe from here to here, it looks like it's more of an angle. Because you have that and you have that angle. There's a can draw an angle like that, and then you wonder, is there something here? I see this here. It's in the way, yeah? So it could just be depending on the height, and so you have to find a third mark, and if it lines up, maybe you can change your trajectory to say you need to get to where to shoot somebody. Okay, let's use an example. Somebody flies over here and stands right here on this corner here. Okay, he stands on a corner and somebody else stands here. Because this is protected, it can't shoot past. Here, then the line of perspective. You would need a justification where this line is at an angle. So you would need maybe like that. Where would you get an angle on this guy here? You would need something like an open shot over here, I think. To move over here, you need to move over here. If the guy moves over here, the guy moves over here. Oh, if the guy moves back here, move over there. Let's actually move to the new building or something. There, and then moves back there. I don't know, maybe that's a clear shot. No, I think that might be an angle. The angle might not be possible. To find the third line of perspective, and I don't see a clear shot because how do I draw that perspective though? I would think that is the center point of where the line starts, and you gotta understand that slope goes down to here, and it kind of does. It kind of does, but it's you have to line it up, I guess, and decide if that angle has to be exactly against the corner or against a line, or if it's always off. So you can do an exact shot. You decide if you have to see the halfway point of the body or the top half or something like that. So without better drawing capability, it's quite difficult to be sure about the angles of this one. So how much of the body is exposed to will be important, because sometimes the right tools are not that clear. Okay, so let's look at this one. This one, they all are very close. This is MIDI. This needs a short, and this is close to mid-range, but it could be a short. Some tools short are very close, like this, like a shotgun. That's not that great, but it's powerful close, right, for the early gameplay. And if you upgrade it, it's still good for a long time. So this one, I don't really use it that much. I used to use it more. But if you have this kind of guy, he probably has something with range, for example. I don't know which one this is. And so his short range could be more like 30 meters, and this one could be 15 meters, for example, because the tools are not the same. So some short range tools are not are shorter than the other ones. So you have to decide if you have more damage, then there's more efficacy to the weapon. Then you have to be more worried if it's too much damage, right? Say, oh, got to the, it's too bad, right? Okay, and then so you decide range of weapon and tool, and then can see just draw that line and draw that line. Once you pass that line, you understand there might be a defense. Once he crosses this imaginary line, anyone could be over there shooting you. If you follow into the same zone, past the same line, you're now in danger, venturing a long range fight. Clear, but not clear back here. Okay. This is a wall that says you don't know what lies behind. what treasures you will find. But if you were to use the angle, like you can see, this is here. See what you see. Okay, so draw what you see, but then stop it before it gets high. So don't have to make it high, just like that. Okay, now you can stop it here because you don't need to know how high it goes if you're not looking for a flyer. Just right here. Okay. So this is where you don't see what's happening. That like that. That's another place where you don't see one standing back here, down on the ground, okay, behind this part. So you can say you don't see if somebody is behind or if there's anything over here. If we assume that this is an even building, right? Or it's approximately like that, straight line, and that's the area I don't understand. Is anything from here as well as here, as well as here, like that. What point? We don't know it. So where's your access? You fight here, you clear this area. Now you need to transfer here, maybe, I don't know. Shock anything back there, make sure there's nothing, you clear the area, then you check it, maybe. On the corner, pick around the corner. Just look around it, right? But strafe. But the issue is this guy has to be dealt with because you don't know what he's guarding. You follow him, you don't know what you get. And this one is not a vision of what? This one, line a vision of what? Okay, so you have two here. This one has a rocket. They're not at all being affected. Its optimal position would be more like here. They change spots. It's a good idea. He can be here. Get two of them with the rocket, and then he can be here and just take out one with the gun. Okay. I'm assuming that's a rocket because these guys are good with rockets, long range. But he's up close, so he's fighting an up close battle. He gets one shot, and then he has to back off. If he's not a rocket, I don't know what this is. Then it's something else. Maybe it's plasma. I don't really use plasma, so I don't know. So, okay. So anything will be happening back here, and you have to maybe wonder if there's anything else that they can get. Yeah, if you pursue, what else could happen? Don't fall into a cinch because you're not paying attention. Not even a trick. People are just moving too much, right? And they don't know. Okay. And then topography. That was the earlier map. So what do you know about this topography? It's consistent with point 1 and point 2, and you simply draw a line across 2 points that are close together to define the entire map. 2 points close together, 1 and 2, entire map. Okay. Point 1 and point 2, draw a straight line, and you keep drawing a straight line. That's it. Approximately, but you need a ruler. So use your eye, and then you can understand, just like quickly. Here you understand that 2 points define 2 points define better line here. 2 points, and then you make it consistent all the way through, approximately. And then you can make another line to say you go back there, you don't know. So it's fine there. So, this one, for example, is that way. So draw parallel because so you assume that those two are parallel. Okay. And if you want a quarter, you can say from the back to the front, the back angle to the front angle, from the back angle to the front angle. Okay, other side. I think there is some picture, but I don't see it. Here. What is coming out of this here? I see that. Okay, change it a bit maybe. Adjust your eye. That is too wide. You need to have that. It has to be a bit even around, but eventually it will look broader, but it would be with the same size. And you have to adjust the quarter all the way through based on what are the angles you want to check out. Okay. And you just check out, you see where somebody's moving around, and you quickly understand they move here, or they move there, and you understand how they're affected. Whether or not you can pursue them is a separate issue. But you can know the limit of what's going on there. How fast they move and stuff is a separate detail. Here's the same map. And then okay, that one looks more like redone because I don't know, when I follow that angle, it looks a little bit too much like a triangle. Like a, so try that one more time. Yeah, maybe that angle's too steep. Strong out of perspective. That should be what? That should be more like parallel. Maybe it's the angle because it's up high as well. You have the up and down from the height. And so from a height perspective, does it change? Is there a third line that I don't see to adjust it? I don't know much about it, but I'm guessing it's a little bit out of perspective. But what if it was just a computer and it's not out of perspective? Therefore, maybe the height changes the perspective or the perspective is off. I don't know. I don't know how to do that, so I can't really say. I couldn't make it myself if I wanted to. It's not enough detail for me. Like, if you're very careful, you'll probably make a go of it. In fact, that's my mistake. Can't see that back piece. I'm assuming there's a back piece you can see. That's probably the mistake. Yeah, can't see it. Cannot see it. There's a shadow there up high, but you can't see the back. So yeah, that's my mistake. It's not this. Okay, last one is something like that. So you know that as long as that wall stays, he's got absolutely nothing to worry about there. Alright. As soon as that ends, now he's got to worry about anything is in the open. At that point, he's in the open. So anything from over here is dangerous. Okay? Unless assuming that the wall doesn't anything like that could just be like the part of the wall where someone's peeking or standing. Anything else here? If someone flies over. If someone flies over, then it's also dangerous. Height. What point is it dangerous is I think as long as the guy can get over. Like the guy flies over or something. What point would just be like measuring approximately think I'm measuring this approximately like that, and you have to put a line. So assuming what this is a symbol, work it out, and then I have to put access to this guy, and from well, it seems okay. It's just this area. I'm not worried about this. This would be like high, I think, too high to fly for anything I've seen so far. Okay, just get up on the wall, or it's just hop up like that, and then now we're standing here. It's only the same horizon. Okay, I hope that helps, etc. I think that's a very long one. Let's play a quick match, and then I'll label it lines of perspective for improving gamer efficiency, but it's not for cash. Okay, the cash is that if you earn more money, is you know how to use the map more. That will be a useful perspective. Okay, but it's only one perspective. It's a way like to understand angles and things like that. But it's just like perceptional. You need to also have game and understand that the game is made to break rules of nature, but you have to understand why the superpowers allow you to go through wall, like with the different technology to fight other enemy, or can't, have to go over or around, and change the map on a northeast, southwest, up and down basis, and with some idea that things might go over, or what the game might not be to fight each other at some points of the game are about grabbing the control points and controlling the point system to tell the enemy what to do. Let's play one match so the map is better visualized.
Three, two, one, go. Get out of my way. Beacon captured.
Okay, so I see a line. I can understand. The risk is at the other end, I don't see what's behind. As I peek, I can see there's something to...
Incoming fire!
The more I change that line, I can see the problem with... Okay, so sometimes your enemy is your person yourself.
Noob identified.
Okay, you kill to get your way. You have to be like, okay, they're not paying attention to anything, just running and stuff. Let's change the angle. Take one guy, not two, right? If I steepen the angle, change the angle, now I got two guys. Okay, maybe like that too. So don't give yourself too much fire. It's also the angle of the weapon, because sometimes the angle of the weapon can just change how much you can avoid the fire. It's not perfect, but you can avoid some fire. Quite a lot, but if they're a good shot, you have like one chance, and then I need help. And then there's no more, because you'll die and get the new bot. I'm in tier 3 gear, so a lot of the people at my level can't quickly defeat me. Or it's even kind of a system.
Critical damage.
Critical damage.
Incoming fire.
Yeah, because I'm just like standing there. I'm just standing there, and I have too many guns that are like more than one gun that can get me. And it's kind of like sometimes I'm used to a bit of a bottish behavior because a lot of newbies. But and so I kind of get lulled into a sense of grid security. Just like today, I'm also a bit tired. But
Incoming fire. Noob identified.
okay, so I got two issues here. I'm going to start backing out.
Critical damage.
Yep. That was about it.
Reloading. Cover me.
Should have done that before, for sure. Okay, so I want to take advantage of this conversation to tighten those gaps and to stop giving my enemy too many. Which ones fire. Sometimes they look blue. This guy looks blue a little bit.
You have 2 minutes remaining.
Attack and then run away.
Incoming fire.
I think this is bottish of them a little bit. I wonder why I can't get
identified.
But maybe
well
it's
done.
people. I also play with real people online. I've talked with them online. So it's I know it's a game.
Critical damage.
Some of these games are like that. Like Valorant was a famous game that had the same issue. They got attacked by lots of bots. So I think I lost this match for my team, but we're over halfway and we're kind of still evenly matched. But I think this is where I lost the match because I kept my angles too wide open and I had more than one gun at a time on me.
Incoming fire.
So, I think an attack mode doesn't necessarily focus on fighting attack by pushing forward. I think a good fight.
There is 1 minute left.
Really quickly and get all the damage that's possible, in that time. So I can't just be lazy. So I can see that by not changing that angle consistently was the result of like the game point match. That's why I lost the game for my team. So I can at an expert level try to get to the next league level by doing a few things. If I want to get to the next league level and play a good game, I need better technology to keep up. But this is not a technology issue now. It's going to be a consistent issue changing throughout the gameplay though. So what I want is to close those gaps. Okay? Otherwise you can see that the game is over. I got a negative evaluation for that, which means that negative evaluation and their positive evaluation is they win, I lose. And so this negative evaluation means I have a cost that's too high. That could take me out of my ranking, for example. Okay, so let's try that one more time, but let's close those gaps and not make any mistakes like that. Get a new map though, because it's random. And it doesn't mean more than just keep telling yourself stop. Like that's when you stop. You stop when the angles are wrong. You could change things a bit based on how fast things go, whether you're going up or down.
3, 2, 1, go. Let's get things started.
Okay, so I got wide open angle here. Got that there. That's going to be blocked off already. So I'm going to try this open angle over here first. Nothing shows up. Yeah, it shows up. Okay. I'm missing because I have to get out more in the open. The wall's taking too much of the hit for me. A is too far away. I lost one of my powers there. Change the angle.
Incoming fire.
That angle is keeping me safe, but there's somebody coming back here. So I'm going to go long range rRisk. That height. And any one shot could have ended, right? As long as you're more strong. So the higher this level this gets, the tougher it is.
Incoming fire.
My gun's pretty good, mid or long range, so I can't do both.
Boom.
I'm going to finish this job, and I'm going to take the control point. And somebody else will probably be there or two. Okay, and now somebody else will probably spawn here or another place. Okay. I'm going to fire through the wall. Oh, okay, he does it for me.
Fire.
That's too dangerous, right? If he's a stronger enemy, then I would have been dead. So my risk points, and that's it. So
beacon captured. Incoming fire.
This guy's probably long range. So, but
Incoming
it's a
fire.
shirt. I know he's mid range. So longer range would be better.
Noob identified.
Too much risk. Try to close that gap. And change between risks. Choose more of this risk. Go to the wall. It's reduced to this. My risk is my back right now. It's very high risk.
Well done.
Oh, yeah, with this one,
Incredible damage.
that's range. So he's trying to get back up, probably. But I still did. Okay. But it's okay. We're almost halfway. I still got another 2 good bots. Tier 2 is not helping me right now. So I like the healing mechanism. If somebody needs it, it's useful. But it really is...
Reloading, cover me.
whatever.
You have 2 minutes remaining. Incoming fire.
Okay, so I got multiple angles, long range, one's been
beacon captured.
Don't waste any shots.
Incoming fire.
Shot. But I missed it. Okay. He can wait. He's gonna go try to take the control points. It's really lazy. That's lazy for me, but I'm also lazy because I'm not covering my risk. Wide open. So I'm also at risk. Try opening long range, see if that's enough to get a win.
Noob identified. Well done.
These players are not that clear at long range yet, but it won't be that long before it's impossible, technically. This is long range, this is too vulnerable.
There is 1 minute left.
At any one of those junction.
Incoming fire. Beacon captured. Incoming fire.
11, he's using short range.
Critical damage.
Dead. Oh, somebody got it for me.
You have won the match.
So I got 2 kills on this one equivalent or something like that. So that's when I would continue usually, but anyway, I'm going to finish for the night. I'm tired. So I got 6 kills here, and that's very beneficial. Okay. Have a good night. I hope you have a good rest and take care. I'll show you a post-battle technique. Remember to add your friends who are from the battle or from different battles, and you can collect rewards anytime, or save them up for later. Take care. Have a good day. I hope that, oh, by the way, I hope that this video helped you gain perspective of different angles on the battle map.